What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel for the Sunday Social Week 5 edition. I am your host, Dylan Clemons. And my guy, Matt, from the Parlay FF crew is already here with me, man. We're already watching football with a 7-7 tie here over in London between Minnesota and Cleveland. Actually been an okay game so far. Like we were talking pre-show, Quinton Judkins really good at football, guys. So that's good to see. We saw Harold Fanning catch a touchdown. And then, Matt, who was the other touchdown from Minnesota? Was it the backup tight end or something?
Yeah, Irv Smith caught a pass from Cam Akers.
A little blast from the past there. Who I think at some point or another, we all had a little bit of high hopes for Irv Smith. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited to jump into this Week 5 stuff. Before we do, I just want to remind everyone, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Then head on over to fantasysixpack.net/plans to become an all-access member. That's where you get access to our award-winning rankings. Joe's a multiple-time top 5 accuracy finisher in the Fantasy Pros competition. You get direct access to our F6P team through our Discord, all the cheat sheets with NHL and NBA coming right around the corner. And yeah, you get all of Matt's betting action. You can DM him. I'm sure he'll be happy enough to answer your questions. Ask me any start sit questions you need. Once again, that's fantasysixpack.net/plans to become an all access member. But Matt, my guy, you're here to talk some betting. So let's go ahead, jump right into it. Who is your first play here on your betting card this week?
All righty. Well, I had previously for Thursday Night Football, I had the Rams to cover. That did not work out for me.
I did too. Yep.
So actually, I think a lot of the public had the Rams to cover, and that just did not end well. So we're going to kind of reboot the system, guys. Last week we ended up going, I think here on the Sunday Social, I went 2-1 for bets, and then overall, I think I went 4-2 in NFL plays last week with my co-host on the Parlay Fantasy Podcast. We did pretty well last week. So let's turn back the clock. Let's get back on the winning track here. So my first play, Dylan, it's going to be a little bit of an odd one, but
okay, I like odd ones.
I like me some home dogs. I like me some home dogs this week. So I am taking Carolina Panthers plus 1.5, or you can just take the money line. I think it still sits at like plus 100 or plus 112 or something like that. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers this week playing against the Miami Dolphins at home. You know, I've always kind of tended to lean towards the home dogs. We know the Panthers haven't looked fantastic, right? Bryce Young got pulled. I don't know if it was that he was just playing terrible and they just decided to pull him last week, or if he got injured. I didn't watch the game. But they got to get something going. They have got to get something going with Teterow McMillan this week. I actually like him to potentially score this week. I'm not going to play the anytime touchdown on him because it's probably astronomical, but Rico Daddle's been playing a lot more. So I'm looking to see the Carolina Panthers get a little thing going here. Miami Dolphins is banged up. Their offense, who knows what that's going to look like without Tyreek Hill for the year. I like Carolina home dogs this week. You can take the money line, or you can take the plus 1.5 or whatever it sits at.
I don't mind taking a shot on the Panthers this week. Matt, the Dolphins are a bad football team. They just so happen to be playing another bad football team in the Jets on Monday night. Man, that game was a debacle. Somebody had to win that game, and that tough sight to see Tyreek Hill go down with a leg injury like that. Maybe we see a little bit of breakout from Jalen Waddle now because of it. You know, Darren Waller turned back the clock last week for 2 touchdown performance. That was interesting to see. So, I'm interested to see what goes on in this game. I could see Carolina pulling off the upset, and you like plus money when the team's at home as well. So, what do you got for your next one, man?
All righty, the next one, it's another home dog. Don't ask me how the Baltimore Ravens are home dogs this week. I get it. Lamar Jackson's not playing. Yeah. I understand it, right? Cooper Rush has been a serviceable backup. Okay. Like I would prefer Cooper Rush over Jake Browning. Like, he has been a very reliable quarterback when he has come in and subbed for Dak Prescott. Listen, guys, Derrick Henry has not looked good for a couple weeks, but Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry. And I get it. The Houston Texans have a formidable defensive line. I understand that. And the Houston's defense is just overall, it's okay, right? Let me say this, it's above average. But
sure,
Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry. The Ravens are still the Ravens, and they're playing at home, and they're the home dogs. So I'm going to take that. Whether again, same thing with Panthers, whether you take the Ravens just money line, or I believe you can get Baltimore at plus 1.5 on most sides. I think that's what it is on DraftKings and FanDuel and Bet365. But I just like the Ravens in this matchup. I think Derrick Henry still finds a way to get it done. Cooper Rush, again, is going to check down to some tight ends. He's going to Zay Flowers probably isn't going to be a crazy, productive guy today, but I just like the Ravens. I'm not going to bet against them at home when they're the dogs. Like, they have to win this week, whether Lamar's playing or not. They have to win this week, or they find themselves in a very, very odd situation. So give me the Ravens plus money.
I like it, man. And this is where the offense needs to make a change here. And I think it will with Lamar out. Obviously, it's going to look a bit different. But Derrick Henry has like 48 touches in 4 games, Matt. That's not enough. Not near enough.
No.
They should, and they need to get back to giving him 20, 25 carries on the ground, especially in this matchup against Houston. Wear down that defense, man. And yeah, I agree. Us fantasy managers are hoping for a Derrick Henry breakout after his good week 1, but then it hasn't been pretty ever since then. So,
right.
You got any more plays, Matt?
Yeah, I got one, maybe 2 more if we have time, but I like the Arizona Cardinals at home too, at minus 7.5. I think is where you get them most sides. Listen, I was on the Titans a couple weeks ago. I will never again. I will never again be on the Titans. I will never again be on the Titans. Sure, they might here and there they might pull up an upset or cover the spread or whatever, but they are absolutely atrocious. Like, that team does not know what their identity is. They don't know what's going on. I've traded away all my Titans assets and got what I could for them.
Don't blame
I just can't bring myself to go against or go with the Titans in anything. Arizona is not a terrible team. I think once they get things going, they get more involved with MHJ. Trey McBride's still going to do his thing. They have a pretty good defense already. So, give me the Arizona Cardinals at home minus 7.5. The hook is a little bit scary, but I'm on the Cardinals today.
Yeah, like you said, Tennessee is so bad. We talked a little bit pre-show. It's hard to trust Kyler, so I'm a little bit weary at that minus 7.5 number, man. But I'm okay riding with you because Tennessee is just so bad. And you alluded to it. You said Tennessee's now off your betting card permanently for a while. The Jets became that for me too, because I actually took them over Miami on Monday night and just saw that debacle go on. I'm like, Jets, they're crossed off for me too, man. So Jets and Titans no more. All right, man. What do you got for your last one here?
This one I'm gonna say again. I'm a fan of a lot of the home teams this week. I'm going to take the Colts minus 7 against the Las Vegas Raiders playing at home. The Colts, it doesn't matter who they play. They have actually been fairly close and looked really pretty decent in every matchup they played in. So going back home here against the Las Vegas Raiders, Geno Smith seems to be a pretty unreliable guy. I know Ashton Genty just popped off. Brock Bowers is still not Brock Bowers of old. I don't know if he's fully healthy.
Playing today.
Okay, so if he's not playing, then I'm all over the Indianapolis Colts. Ashton Genty's not going to do it by himself. Geno Smith will throw some interceptions. I know Kenny Moore is not playing for the Colts, but that doesn't scare me away from this number. Danny Dimes continues to find a way to get it done. And Michael Pittman has kind of resurged his career with Danny Dimes. So at home, minus 7 or 7.5. I don't know if it's minus 7 across the board, but if you can get it at minus 7, which it looks like you can in most sites, I would take that. I love not having the hook there. So I'm all over the Indianapolis Colts again today.
I like that, man. And I talked about them a couple weeks ago saying maybe they could be fraudulent. Hey, I was totally wrong. I'll be willing to admit that.
I think we all were.
Daniel Jones looks revived, man. The RPO games he's got going on with Steichen there, they seem to be a match made in heaven. And it makes you wonder, like, let's go with that offense humming like that, Matt. What's Anthony Richardson thinking?
He's thinking maybe he's thinking maybe I should have got out.
Yeah, like Daniel Jones is the guy, and it's good. I like to see people revitalize their quarterbacks too, revitalize their career, and we've actually seen a decent amount of them here recently with the Baker Mayfields, the Sam Darnolds, and we saw Geno Smith a couple years ago, even though he's kind of struggled this year. And oh man, I don't know, but I do got one more bet, Matt, I want to talk to you about here that I placed and wanted to get your thoughts on here. The Giants on the road getting plus money against the bad New Orleans Saints team. Like, don't get me wrong, the Giants aren't a great football team either, but they made the quarterback change to Jackson Dart. Cam Scadaboo's, locked in as their RB1 now. So there's a little bit more juice in this offense. And you saw the defense last week. Maybe that perked up the defense because they played really well against a good Chargers offense. So, Matt, what are your thoughts here on the Giants getting plus money on the road? Do you think they could pull off technically the upset?
Yes, I do. Actually, that's another card that I am playing as well. It's not one that I'm massively favorable for, but at the end of the day, you brought up all the points that you needed to bring up. The Saints are another team that seemingly looks to rebuild. Spencer Rattler is not. He's not that guy. There's plays that he does make that you're like, okay, that's not terrible, but it seems like he is so scared to throw the ball in tight windows. The guys have to be wide open. I mean, Chris Olave can separate, right? So he gets open. That's why he sees so many targets per week. But when you talk about the New York Giants coming in at plus money, that is one that I am going to be all over. Like I said, there's been trade talks of Cam Jordan being shipped away. I think there's still some trade talks of eventually Chris Olave being traded away. They're just going to be rebuilding. So I like the Giants at plus money. I think Jackson Dart brings a spark to this offense. The defensive line is one of the best in the NFL. I mean, they are formidable. Spencer Rattler is going to see a lot of pressure today. He's going to get sacked a lot, in my opinion, today. So I love the play of the plus money of the Giants, even though they're traveling. So yeah, I'm all in on that. What is that? Is that plus? That's got to be. It's not much, right?
Plus 1.5.
Yeah. I'd even honestly be willing to take Giants money line to get more plus money in that.
Yeah, I love to hear that, man, as a Giants bettor today. And then, Matt, I kind of want to put you on the spot here. And if we got people listening and they got the itch to maybe live bet this London game here, are you a live bettor by chance, or do you kind of stay away when games are going on?
No, I do throw in some live bets every now and again. So yeah, okay. I'm all about it.
We have a 7-7 tie here. It looks like the Browns have the ball. 2 minutes to go. It's actually going to go to the 2-minute warning here. We got a 7-7 ball game. Vikings are favored by 2.5 still. Which way would you go? You could get the Browns here on a plus 150 on the money line. Do you have a lean either way?
To be honest with you, I don't know if I would go money line this early in the game. I'd wait for that number to creep down just a little bit. But I am willing to throw in some like anytime touchdowns with the Browns to cover the spread. I would be willing to throw like an anytime touchdown by Judkins and take the Browns to cover the spread. I don't have the numbers right in front of me live, just because I left the old phone piece in the room. I didn't want to get too distracted. So, but if there's any way in like a few seconds, could you pull up what Justin Jefferson's total over under receiving yards is like right now?
Receiving props.
I do like the throwing out some anytime touchdowns, especially after touchdowns have already been scored. Judkins has been rolling in this game.
Yes.
So I like the parlay of adding an anytime touchdown with a team to cover the spread. Those I do a lot of live bets like that.
Okay, Justin Jefferson's set over under 75.5.
Yeah, and that's live. I would take the over on that. Carson Wentz has been seeing some pressure from the Browns defensive line, but he still is feeding the ball. I think they're going to be in a situation that they're going to still need to pass the ball, especially with the game being so tight right now. Yeah, I like the over Justin Jefferson, 75 yards.
All right, like that. And then just Quinshon Judkins is plus 230 for any time touchdown in this game. So I would like those odds. Well.
Yeah, I would roll the dice on that. And the last thing I'm going to say before I get out of here, Dylan, is one game I do like is I like the over the Chargers Commanders total today as well, over 47 and a half, or over 47.
I like that one, man. Could be some fireworks in that
That's
game for
going to
sure.
be my favorite game of the week to watch.
Love it. No doubt. All right, Matt, before you hop out of here, just go ahead, plug away what you got going on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, if you guys want to check us out on any of the audio platforms you listen to on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can look up the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Give us a subscribe, 5-star review, guys. That helps the show. And if you guys just want to catch us live when we do our betting episode, you can find us here on YouTube at Fantasy Six Pack. Give the channel a follow and hit that notification bell so it tells you when all of us go live. And like Dylan alluded to earlier, FantasySixPack.net, become an all-access member, guys. It not only does it give you our stuff betting-wise, it gives you everything. It gives you access to everything. And trust me, there's a lot of information over there that you guys want to be a part of. So make sure you guys do that.
Love it, Matt. Can't wait to talk to you next week, and good luck on your bets today, man.
All right, thanks. Good luck, guys.
Later. All right. For our next segment, we got Joe Bond back here to talk his rankings. What's going on, my guy? How you feeling after a week off? You were feeling a little under the weather last week.
Oh yeah, dude. It was rough last week. I didn't have quite the voice. The cold is sort of just hanging around a little bit, but I'm good to go.
Great to hear. Great to hear, man. We got some good football going already. 7-7 tie here. Looks like the Browns just went for it in their own territory to complete a 4th and 1 with a run. We had talked about earlier. Quinshon Judkins looking really good so far in this one.
Had a touchdown called back already. You guys were talking about that anytime touchdown.
Yep.
Almost had it already.
That's tough. Yep. But all right, Joe, let's hop into it. We talked a couple weeks ago. We were going to try to change this segment up a little bit, and we're going to touch on some guys' names who have been in the news this week, whether it be because of injuries and guys filling in and etc. So I wanted to start here with Mr. Rico Dowdle, who is the backup of Chuba Hubbard, but Chuba went down. Not playing this week. Joe, you have Rico as a borderline top 20 guy this week as RB21. So what are your thoughts on him going up against a bad Miami defense?
Yeah, I mean, he's matchup is about as good as it can get. Miami has been atrocious against the run. So Dowdell was already getting about a 60-40 split there in Carolina with Hubbard, which was kind of surprising. I really thought that we would get a lot more Hubbard this year, even though Dowdell, I mean, look, Dowdell's been fine in the past. I think we learned pretty quickly in Dallas that Dowdell is not a workhorse back. He is a good complementary back. So he fits this role well. I thought it would be maybe more like a 70-30 split, especially when they gave Hubbard that contract, right? But that all put aside, there is no Hubbard this week. I mean, Trevor Etienne is going to get, the next look. I don't know, man. Like he'll get mixed in. We'll probably see a lot more of the passing game as well, but Dowdell, man, is just going to get just fed the ball, I feel like, here. And if there's any game where an offense can get right, man, it's against the Dolphins. So I'm really liking Dowdell. I actually wrote an article over on USA Today, and I was drafting the article Thursday morning when like Hubbard was sort of questionable, and I was like, look, this is obviously a slam dunk play if Hubbard is out, but you could potentially still stream him. Well, he's no longer a streamer. He's in your lineup at this point in most places, and got picked up to the point where he's probably not streamer eligible, which is like, 50-40% rostered or less. So, but yeah, that was kind of funny. I was drafting it and I was like, oh, well, I got to change that whole section.
Sure. No doubt.
Good times.
But just to throw some context to it, Joe has Rico ahead of guys like Tony Pollard, Chase Brown, David Montgomery, and J.K. Dobbins. So he's ahead of guys, some pretty decent names there. Just
I mean, it's workload with those guys, man. I mean, look, Chase Brown gets all the work, but that offense is –
it's not good,
Man, I was going out on the limb for Browning, man. Like, he wasn't terrible like last year or 2 years ago when he filled in.
Right.
I don't know what is going on. I mean, that offensive line is just bad. I mean, Browning just has no time. And I mean, I don't I don't know how you pay a quarterback and these receivers the money that the Bengals did and bring in such terrible talent for the O-line and expect things to go well.
That's not how you build a winning team, man. That's not how you do it. You're supposed to build it within the trenches first, and that's just the Bengals have refused to do it. But what can you do at this point? But bad hosting by me, Joe. I went out of order, so happy you were able to adjust on the fly. Let's hop back to a guy you have actually ranked higher here. That's Mr. Rachaad White with the Bucky Irving injury, which the Irving injury has been a little bit weird, man. The Bucs have been real quiet about it, and then it came out he was on crutches and in a boot, so it was interesting. Joe, you have Rachaad White borderline RB1 this week at RB14. So you see a solid workload for him coming up this week against Seattle?
I do, and they've actually already come out this morning and said that Rachaad White's going to get the bulk of the carries. So I know, Sean Tucker is sort of like I don't know. he's a fan favorite. I think mainly because of week 5 last year when he busted off for 160 yards and a touchdown. He'll get his, and unless he just has a game like that where it's just okay, you cannot take the ball out of his hands. Rachaad White's going to be the guy. He's no Bucky Irving, but he's done it before. We know what we can expect from Rachaad White. He can catch passes. Seattle's defense is pretty good. So it is going to be a tough matchup, but I think, you just like this Tampa offense to be able to figure things out. Philly was a tough matchup, and they figure things out as well. And you just got to like White to be able to get things done, as an RB2. I think that's a pretty safe play there.
Yeah, and he already had his role as the passing down back, so he's not going to lose that either way. So, yeah, it's wheels up for Rachaad White. I agree with you there. Joe, we're going to switch it over to the wide receiver position, and let's touch on Brian Thomas Jr. He was a borderline first-round draft pick in many drafts. And, Joe, with 5 teams on bye – and 4 weeks, we're into week 5 now, and we have Brian Thomas Jr. ranked as your 27th best wide receiver.
It's not good.
I asked you a couple weeks ago, man, what the panic meter was, and you gave me. I want to stay around a 4 or 5, so I want to get your temperature here on Brian Thomas Jr. on a scale of 1 to 10.
It's probably still around the 5 mark, honestly.
Okay.
We did see progress last week.
Yes.
He caught 5 of 7 targets, I want to say. Or maybe did he get, or was it 5 of 5? Anyway, he caught a lot more of the passes going his way. One of the things a couple weeks ago when you asked me, he had a catchable target rate of 50%. The meaning Trevor Lawrence was only throwing 50% of his passes to Brian Thomas that were catchable. That's not good. So that has drastically improved. And we're seeing that now that things are trending in that direction. Brian Thomas Jr. is able to pull them down. We still haven't seen the production, from Brian Thomas that we were hoping. This one's a tough matchup. Kansas City is one of the better, defenses in the league. So that is another reason why we bring him down. If this was against, say, a Miami, I might bump him up a little bit, or Washington, but it's Kansas City. So you've got to, limit expectations a little bit. I will say this. The minute Brian Thomas Jr. has a big game, I will probably be dangling him out there in every single league I have him in, and you should too. I just feel like it is going to be a rough road for him the rest of the year. Very inconsistent, and it's unfortunate. You could speak pretty much the same with Ladd McConkey at this point, and they are kind of ranked very close together in my rankings. So probably,
he got Ladd wide receiver 24,
and I'm nervous about it, man. I really don't even want him that high because he has severely disappointed. But that matchup is tasty, man. It's just hard.
In my DFS lineup.
It's hard to rank all 3 of those guys. I think Quentin Johnston is the one that you trust the most there, which is weird to say. Keenan Allen seems to be second, and Ladd McConkey has been a distant third, honestly.
Yeah.
but the talent is there. And it's like, am I really going to rank like a Jameson Williams over top of him, who has also severely disappointed this year? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the volume. Ladd McConkey's still getting volume. It's just not, turning around.
That probably makes it extremely tough as a ranker when you have 3 wide receivers on a team like that, right? On what you're going to do with all 3 of them weekly. Like you have Keenan Allen, wide receiver 22, Ladd McConkey, wide receiver 22 or 24, and then Quentin Johnson at wide receiver 14. So
I mean, and in reality, like it won't finish that way. Like it's not going to, but you play, that's the law of averages finishes between all 3 of them. And, Quentin Johnson could be wide receiver 5. Keenan Allen could be wide receiver 13, and Ladd McConkey could be wide receiver 40. Like that's how it could play out. It would be very hard to see all 3 of them actually finish as, top 24 wide receivers. But that's kind of how the ranking game works, unfortunately.
Yep, no doubt there. And then jumping back into the running backs, Joe, and I just thought we had to touch on this Arizona Cardinals backfield because that's been the talk of social media here over the week. All because Michael Carter came out and said he's going to be the starting running back this week. But what does that even mean? He's going to start the game, sure. But is he going to lead the team in touches? Who knows? So you got Michael Carter in the backfield. We got Amari DiMercato back there. We got maybe a mix of Bam Knight, Zonovan Knight in as well, Joe. It looks like I'm trying to find it on your rankings here. I see Amari DiMercato at 30. Is he your highest ranked?
He is. Michael Carter's 39, and Bam Knight's probably in the lower 50s, upper 60s, I want to say. Yeah, 59. I'll be honest with you, I really don't want anything to do with this backfield if I can help it. I know bye weeks are getting people, injuries are getting people. So you might kind of be desperate with it, but there's been a lot of questions. Oh, Dowdell or DiMercato. Oh, Dowdell in a heartbeat. Like that's a no-brainer. We literally have no idea what the split is going to be here. There was something that came out, and I don't know if it was like a beat writer or something that kind of came out with it yesterday. I kind of just saw it glance by my phone. That the first and second down carries are going to be split between Carter and Bam Knight, and then DiMercato is going to keep his third down role, which wouldn't surprise me, but also wouldn't surprise me to see like DiMercato just take everything. Like I think it's going to be like ride the hot hand type of thing, and obviously game script is going to play a big part in this. Like if the Cardinals get down and they have to play a lot of passing situations, DiMercato is going to see the field a ton. That's just how it's going to play. Michael Carter, though, does play, can catch passes, does kind of play the same type of role as DiMercato, and he has in the past, so he can do that as well. I am starting DiMercato in one place because I'm kind of in a bad situation with my running backs and, got Bijan on bye and things like that. So I don't feel good about it, though. So there you go.
Sounds good, Joe. And then before we get out of here, we got a couple minutes left. You write an article for USA Today targeting streamers. So who is your top streamer at any position heading into, I keep saying heading into week 5. We're already into week 5. Dylan.
Yeah.
In week 5 this week, who's your top streamer? What do you got?
Yeah, so you want what do you want? You want like one per position, or like I can
if you want to go rapid fire, you can go ahead, or just
go. So yeah, my top streamer quarterback this week. Now, granted, I write this a couple days ago, so roster percentages have changed. Who knows if he's actually out there in your league? Jackson Dart's my streamer quarterback. Does that rushing floor alone? I know the passing volume is not going to be there, but the rushing floor alone keeps him in that conversation, and it's a good matchup against New Orleans for sure. Like I said, I had Dowdell as a streamer. I don't think that counts anymore. I actually put Michael Carter in there as a streamer because it was like, well, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the starting running back. And now look what's happening. So if you're desperate, and that's kind of what streamers are in some cases. They are just like desperation plays. He's a guy that I would be looking at as well. Let me see here. I'm trying to pull up my article. I did write it a couple days ago. Apologize for that. I thought I had it up, but I guess I closed the window. My tight end, I'll skip to my tight end because I know my tight end has been the same every week because for some reason he just won't get picked up, and it's Brenton Strange. I don't have any idea. Like the guy's seeing 7 targets every single week, 8 targets. Like, pick the guy up. I mean, if he were just to catch one of these touchdowns that keeps going to Hunter Long, he'd be tight end. If he just caught one of them, he'd be tight end 9.
Yeah.
0.4 points behind Brock Bowers. Like, guys, what are we doing? You are guarantee you were starting worse tight ends. I am TJ Hawkinson.
No doubt. Dang.
Receiver, Darius Slayton. That was the obvious one. Like he led this receiving core last year when Malik Neighbors was out for a couple of games. I want to say it was 14 passes, 179 yards, and a touchdown. He led the receiving core when Malik Neighbors left the game last week. Wan'Dale is going to be awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I think Darius Slayton is going to be way more involved and way more of a factor in fantasy going forward than I think people are giving him credit for.
No doubt, man. Big play guy too. So he's the guy who catch one pass, long touchdown, and he could win you your week. So, but he could also lose you your week.
Yeah, the problem is going to be how much is Jackson Dart going to pass. I think that's going to be the one thing holding him back. But I mean, the quarterback play can't possibly get any worse than it was last year. So there we go.
No doubt. All right, Joey, appreciate it. Hope everyone liked the little tweak to the segment this week. But before we get you out of here, why don't you remind everyone where they can find your stuff and what you got going on the rest of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got fantasy6pack.net over there. And then I am at F6P_Joe on the X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I'm on Blue Sky. You can catch my my couple articles over on USA Today as well. And that's pretty much it, man.
All right, sounds good, Joe. Good luck in the rankings competition and all your fantasy teams this week. And we'll talk to you again next week, man.
See you guys. Good luck.
Later. All right, guys, let's go ahead, jump right into the start sit segment. I got my 2 guys here with me this week, Mr. Kyle Senra and Ike Bonni. No Keith Flemming for the start sit segment, but he will pop in around noon Eastern to give his DFS cash game. So, boys, good morning. We already got football cooking. How you guys doing this morning? Kyle, what's up, man?
Doing great. My goal line guide article's out, so I know we'll be plugging our content later, but I will be referencing it probably a few times for these starts.
Perfect. Love it. Ike, how you doing this beautiful morning in Wisconsin, man?
Doing good. Good. Weirdly warm here for October.
All the time. Everywhere it seems like it's. Is it weirdly warm in Canada too, Kyle, right now? Or
here it is. Yeah, the last couple days, really. I mean, it felt like Friday was feeling like full fall cold, and then suddenly it's a summer weekend again. So yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. We had 80-degree weather all weekend too. So yeah, it's interesting time here. But let's go ahead and kick this off with our good friend Jamie, Kyle's co-host on the Dynasty 6-pack. He's starting Baker, Igbuka, Sean Tucker. Who to start in his last flex spot? Chris Godwin or Sutton? Kyle, go ahead.
Funny that he is starting with a Dynasty question. Very fitting of Jamie.
Yeah,
but,
right?
You see all the Buccaneers players, and is Godwin too much for that? I don't even think it comes to that. I think Sutton's earning. I mean, Godwin earned a lot of targets last week, but I think he caught 3 of 10. So it still feels like he needs. Yeah, exactly rusty. That doesn't, the timing of it still maybe not 100% from the injury good enough to play. So until we see it with Godwin, I'm going to just keep going Cortland Sutton, knowing that it's a really tough match.
I'm with you there. That's where I would lean as well. Ike, would you lean Sutton over?
Yeah.
All right. What else we got here? Good morning, Albert. Good to see you popping in. Jody, same with you. Good to see you. BD's in here as well. Saying let's go at 6:00 somewhere. I love it. J-Mo versus the Bengals or Khalil versus the Pats at the flex. Full point PPR. Ike, we're going to go there. Khalil Shakur.
I'm going to go J-Mo because that Bengals defense is pretty rough. And at some point, the Bengals offense has to do something, which will just make it more of a shootout. So, yeah, I'm going to go J-Mo.
The Bengals are back at home, so maybe that makes this game more competitive. Yeah, because it's been the Bengals have been brutal here with Joe Browning under the helm. Kyle, would you go with Jameson Williams against the bad Bengals defense, or are you going to go with a little bit more safety here with Khalil Shakir?
Already going to the goal line guide, but the Lions have the highest goal line grade this week for their passing offense. They've been incredibly efficient inside the 5. Bengals defense, I've got them at allowing 2/3 of the pass attempts inside their 5 to convert into touchdowns. So I think really great game for the Lions pass catchers all around. I'm going Jameson Williams as well.
Love to hear it. Clean sweep.
Amon-Ra's probably going to score a touchdown. Oh, yeah.
I've got him ranked as the number 1 receiver this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense here. Then first one for BD, we got full point PPR plus 6 points return TD. Need one running back. Need one running back at flex. Sorry, Luke McCaffrey, Zach Charbonnet, or Amari D. Mercado. Kyle, what do you got here?
So I guess for the running back question, it's the upside versus risk, or upside and risk versus what we know. Like we know it's going to be a split between Charbonnet and Walker. So like it caps their upside, but at least it's just a 2-way split. Now we're hearing Zonovan Knight's active, and what is the Cardinals split going to be? But DeMarcado has the higher upside because maybe he does take it over. Like we really don't know. I know we're expecting Michael Carter to be the starter, it seems like, but we have no idea how it's going to go. I mean, the team might not even know. They might just be, what do we see before us, and we'll go with who does the best. So where do I have my rankings?
I was going to ask you.
I got them back to back in my rankings. So Charbonnet is 1 spot higher, but this is full PPR. So in theory, for full PPR, that helps DeMarcado. So I think I would lean the upside of DeMarcado, and without Terry McLaurin, I'll go with McCaffrey.
Yeah, I
assume that's Luke McCaffrey. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then, we talked about the Cardinals backfield in the previous segment. Joe's top running back, he has ranked as well as RB30 as DeMarcado in that backfield. So that's where he's going. His pick would be DeMarcado out of that backfield as well. So, like, where you gonna go Luke McCaffrey and DeMarcado too, or you want to get Charbonnet in there for one of those guys?
I'll go with McCaffrey and DeMarcado.
Okay. And Kyle, DeMarcado is your top ranked running back in the Cardinals backfield this week as well?
No, I think I do have Michael Carter. Just expecting more volume.
Okay.
But again, in full PPR, with what we understand, like at least what we think, DeMarcado is going to be the passing down back, so he would be boosted in this one.
No doubt. Yep. From Jody here, 8-person PPR, who would you recommend? Pittman or Keenan Allen at wide receiver 2? Yeah, Zabuka at wide receiver 1. Herbert at quarterback, Baker on the bench makes sense there. Ike, where are you going here? Michael Pittman, who's had a little bit of resurgence with Indiana Jones, or Keenan Allen, who's back with his guy, Justin Herbert here?
I'm going to go Keenan since he has Justin Herbert.
That's going to be your tiebreaker here. I mean, these guys got to be pretty close in rankings, I would assume, Kyle, right?
So I'm looking at my half PPR rankings. I've got Pittman quite elevated up to wide receiver 11 this week. So I would want to go with Pittman. Allen's my wide receiver 16. This is full PPR. So again, knowing Allen, he might get a boost in full PPR. He'll be closer, but I don't think he'll raise enough spots to be higher than Pittman for me. And part of it is I would play Baker over Justin Herbert. Back to the goal line guide, the Buccaneers have the second highest overall grade this week for their passing attack behind only Lions. So whereas the Chargers it's a below average number. The average passing score this week is 72.3. They're at 64.5. So whereas the Bucs are 104.75. So significantly higher. I think there's a lot more touchdown upside with Baker. So that's part of why I'm not playing Keenan, is because I also wouldn't play her. Knowing they have, I mean, if Buka's here, like I prefer that stat personally.
Sure. Okay. I like it. And just to break the tie, I think I would lean Michael Pittman slightly over Keenan Allen myself here. And another one from Jody for the flex. I currently have Omarion and David Montgomery, deciding between Montgomery and ETN, but open to Pittman or Keenan. H.N. Jonathan Taylor as RBs. Thank you. Kyle, where are you going to go here?
So I guess just saying play both receivers instead, right, of flexing a running back. And that way you're not choosing between Allen and Pittman. If we like both enough, that could make sense, especially if you are going to stick with Herbert. It might make the most sense to just flex the wide receiver. Okay, so Omarion and Montgomery. So I'm confused with them deciding between Montgomery and Etienne. So I guess is that a flex spot then, or 4 flex he has? Okay,
Or the flex, yeah.
Okay, so 2 flex spot. One is Hampton, and then you know
And
what?
then it's either Montgomery, Etienne, Pittman, or Keenan.
Yeah. Yeah, take out whatever receiver you're choosing as the wide receiver 2, and then you flex the other. See, I think I might stick with Etienne.
That's why I lean 2 there.
I think it's maybe a tougher matchup against the Chiefs, but he's getting lots of volume. So I think the way I would do the lineup is Baker quarterback, flexing Etienne and Hampton, and then putting Pittman in as the wide receiver 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Now, I guess the only thing, are we worried that Jonathan Taylor and Pittman in the same lineup? Is that? But then I guess the other way is you have Hampton and Keenan in the same lineup. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Sure. Then we got Dion here. Baker or Drake May on Sunday Night Football in Buffalo. Who does Tampa got? Blanking on it real quick.
Seattle.
Have the Seahawks. Yep, on the road. Ooh, tough matchup there as well. Ike, what do you got? Mayfield or May?
I'm going to go Mayfield based off what Kyle said about the goal line thing.
Okay. Kyle, you got Mayfield over May this week or no?
See, I've actually got May as QB4 this week. I mean, his rushing side is definitely there. I think the Bills defense is good, but I don't think it's like suffocatingly good that where the Patriots aren't going to produce. So I like May because I think Baker tops the tiers of the pure passers, but May to me enters the tier of the rushing upside quarterbacks, and that's why those guys are in the top 6. And like as much as I love Baker in that goal line score, he's still QB6 for me. So it's close, but I'm leaning May.
I have to start May in a league, in our home league, Ike, and I'm a little bit worried about it with it being a prime time
interesting.
matchup. I know Buffalo is their defense can be.
It could be good. It could be bad.
A little bit. Exactly. So I think I lean Baker because I think at this point what you're going to get out of him. May, I know he's produced pretty solidly this year, but I'm still a little worried that his floor could struggle a little bit this week in Buffalo. So then we got 18 PPR super flexed. I need 2 flex using Woody Marks for 1 spot, 2nd spot Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Rashid Shaheed, or Ramondre Stevenson. Who would you use in the 2nd flex, Kyle?
Keenan Allen. He's getting tons of volume, tons of targets, so I'll trust that.
I think that's the right play too, Ike. Would you agree? But for me, it's just Keenan Allen over Chris Godwin, right?
Godwin got a lot of targets, but he just didn't catch them, right? Whereas Allen is pretty.
And if Stevenson just would hang on to the ball, he'd have a legit workload, and he'd be worth using over Woody Marks. But no, you can't trust Stevenson.
The Woody Marks stuff is, Kyle, where do you have him ranked this week? Like I was looking at Joe's rankings. Woody Marks, he's got him as running back 19. Do you have him as a top 20 play this week?
It's a little higher than me. I've got him at 22 though, so I'm not that far off.
Okay.
I think that he's going to take over as the lead guy.
He's the man now.
The Ravens' run defense is really not been good. Like it's getting worse because of the injuries. So I think it's a great matchup. If we see Ravens, we think, running back's bad matchup, but it actually is a pretty good matchup. So.
Yeah, no doubt. They're missing. I can't pronounce the defensive tackle's name for the Ravens.
I think.
Yep, right on. And he got placed on IR. So, yeah, they're in dire straits over there at Baltimore and their run defense, no doubt. PPR need 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. There's the first BTJ question. Tetaroa McMillan, Rico Dowdle. Tough one here. Ike, we'll let you start here. 2 out of the 3.
I'm not letting BTJ die yet, so I'm going to pick him. And then I think I'm going to go Rico Dowdle.
That's fair. You probably don't want both Panthers in your lineup here, right?
Yeah.
That's the rare team with an even goal line grade for both the rushing and passing attack. You don't get that every week, but I'll get a few of those throughout the year and start off right away with one of those. So it's funny. So there's not really an edge on like, are they going to be better at running or passing near the 5? But the volume that Dowdle's going to get, he's the guy I for sure want to put in the flex. And then Brian Thomas Jr.
Yep, with you guys there. And Our guy Michael Platt, we got AJ Brown, Quentin Johnston, Michael Pittman, and Xavier Worthy. Start 3 PPR. Who's the odd man out? He's playing Ike in our home league this week. Pretty sure this is what this lineup's for, Kyle. So what do you got here?
It's funny because I think he asked this in the Discord as well. So everyone head over to the Fancy Six Pack Discord to get all sorts of interaction on this. And of course, ask your questions here too if you want. But Mike certainly took advantage of all the platforms to ask this. So I've got Quentin Johnston and Pittman both as top 12 receivers this week. So those two are in. And then I'll go Worthy over Brown. Brown's just been so disappointing. It's so tough to trust that volume. Passing wise, you trust Mahomes more as a quarterback than you do Jalen Hurts. So yeah, I'll bench AJ Brown.
I think that's the right call. I know it hurts, but I think AJ Brown is the sit, even though we're all going to feel like buttheads if he goes off on the bench.
Yeah.
But Ike, that's where you're at as well?
Yeah. Plus, I have Mahomes, so Worthy works for him.
Yeah, counteracts you a little bit there. And then we got Daniel Jones or Jaden Daniels. For me, it's simple. It's Jaden Daniels.
Ryan, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jaden's knee does not look good.
All right.
Huge ass brace.
Okay, Kyle, you differ?
Yeah.
Or what do you got?
I love Jaden Daniels so much, but I also do think I'm going Daniel Jones this week. The Colts have the third highest passing goal line grade and third overall highest goal line grade this week. So I do think high upside week for Daniel Jones. I have him as QB3. I even have him ahead of Drake May. So I'm expecting a big week here for Daniel Jones. They play the Raiders, right? Like that deep, he's played the match of a few really tough defenses. I think this gets back to what he was in week 1, where he could have that QB1 overall upside. I definitely think Daniel Jones has that. I think for the fact that Jaden Daniels, man, these names, Jaden Daniels missed 2 weeks. Because I think last year there was a big issue. He had the rib injury against the Panthers. He missed the rest of that game, but then came back the next week. But he was clearly hindered. And for the next 3-4 weeks, he wasn't giving you those fantasy performances. The fact that they held him out 2 weeks, I think it helps his knee enough. But it's still enough of a concern that guys like May and Jones who have that rushing upside without the injury risk, I'll favor them. Now
I don't see them rushing Jane Daniels into a bunch of carries and stuff. They don't want to hurt him. They're going to try and keep it easy for him. So
yeah, I agree. They're probably not going to. He's still going to scramble if he thinks it's the best play.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not, because if he was that limited where they don't think he can run at all, they probably just wouldn't play. So I think just given that he got the 2 weeks off, I think it's enough. Back to Baker, right? I would go Jaden Daniels over Baker if we're just going the pure passers versus rushers.
Yep.
But Daniel Jones provides that rushing upside now. It's weird to say because he never used to. He was a rushing floor guy, but never the touchdowns. But he's been scoring so many touchdowns this year, both through the air and on the ground. I think it'll continue this week.
All right. And then Dante, man, I'm so sorry I didn't pull this question when we still had Matt up. Yes, those are the plays that he had: Panthers, Ravens, Cardinals, Colts, Giants, all to win. So if you wanted to tail him, that's what he did have there. Sorry once again for not pulling that up. Then from Ezekiel, we have Alec Iomanner or Zach Charbonnet. Kyle, where do you go here?
Split backfield versus, is Iomanner the number 1 receiver yet in Tennessee?
I think
Ridley's also hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true too. But he's getting targets and just not catching them. But from a production standpoint, Iomanner's been outscoring him. And is he? I guess is this the week where he truly becomes the top target as well? So I've got the Canada hat on. Maybe get dynasty player in Iomanner, but I think even for redraft leagues, he's startable. So I'll go with the Titans, number 1 wide receiver.
All right. Ike, that's where you go as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Then 14-man half PPR. Which 2 would you play? Debo, Pittman, and Keenan Allen, or do I play all 3 instead of Woody Marks in the flex? Ike, would you play Woody Marks over Debo, Pittman, or Keenan Allen? I don't think I would.
I would. It's half PPR, so that's probably a little bit better for Woody Marks. I'd play him over Debo, I think.
Okay, Kyle, what do you got here?
I'm thinking I'd keep Woody Marks in over Keenan Allen. Debo does kind of get the boost in the half PPR with the touchdowns and the rushing attempts, whereas it feels like Keenan gets more hurt from it being half as opposed to full PPR. So yeah, I'd bench Keenan Allen here. I definitely am picking against Keenan Allen more than I should be probably. There we are.
All right, for BD, we need 2 wide receivers of this set of 4. Trey Tucker, Alec Manor, Troy Franklin, Malik Washington, who was a waiver wire darling this week. Kyle, where do you go here? Trey Tucker, Manor, Troy Franklin, Malik Washington.
I'm just pulling up my rankings real quick. I mean, they're, oh boy. Manor's 33, Franklin's 34, Tucker's 35. So, I mean, I think not Malik Washington in spite of the bump.
Bowers might be out.
Yeah, with Bowers out, I might raise Tucker higher than he is. So I think I would go Manor and Tucker.
That's what I would do.
My rankings have it Manor, Franklin, but again, that's 3 guys back to back. So I think I'm going to make that switch. Oh, it does say full PPR to be fair, and I guess I don't know. I guess if we expect more volume from Tucker, then yeah, he still gets the bump in full PPR. So yeah, I'll say Tucker and Manor. Thanks for letting me talk that through.
All right, Cody Lambert here. Lost Malik Neighbors, and my other wide receivers are Ladd Diggs, Wandale Shakir, Josh Downs, Trey Tucker, DJ Moore, which is on bye. Pick 3 to start today. Okay. Ladd Diggs, Wandale Shakir, Josh Downs, Trey Tucker. Mike?
I think it's Diggs no matter what. He's got a nice little revenge game going on for him.
Okay.
I'll go Khalil Shakir. And then probably Ladd. I still think they'll throw more than the Giants offense, so
I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm fitting Ladd in. I'm going to go Shakir, and then I think I go Wandale, I think. Kyle?
I had Wandale and Diggs pretty close, but I do have Diggs a couple spots higher, so I agree with the 3 that Ike took: Ladd McConkey, Stephon Diggs, and Khalil Shakir. So at least I think what we've done is we've eliminated Josh Downs and Trey Tucker from this.
Yeah.
So at least, we didn't full give you clarity, Cody, but at least we've helped you eliminate those 2 names and made it simpler. Okay, now you start 3 of these 4 and just figure out which of those 4 guys you want to bench.
Perfect. Yep. And then our buddy Clayton DeMarcado over Devonta Smith. Where'd I go? Smith still, right?
Yep.
I that's where I lean.
This reminds me of I think it was Ezekiel's question: Manor versus Charb, right? The split running back or the wide receiver. I mean, he's not the starting or the number 1 receiver on the Eagles, but he's still talented. I mean, we'd say he's more talented than Alec Manor. So yeah, I'd go.
All right, and then we got from Zane here Khalil Shakir over Michael Carter, full point PPR. Shakir for me, yeah.
Same thing. Volume wide receivers over split backfields.
No doubt. Half point PPR, need a wide receiver, and flex. Tetaroa, McMillan, Chris Olave, Trey Tucker, Jameson, Williams, half point PPR. Ike, where would you go here?
Olave, and I trust Jameson still a little bit more than Trey Tucker, so I'm going Olave and JMO.
Okay. Kyle?
For sure going Jameson Williams, and McMillan Olave is pretty close. They're another guy back-to-back in my rankings, so
yeah.
I have McMillan 1 spot higher, and it is
I'd go Tetaroa and Jameson Williams. That's where I would lead as well. From Cody here, should I try and trade Kenneth Walker, Jalen Warren to upgrade at wide receiver? Other running backs are Jonathan Taylor. So it's just Jonathan Taylor. I could try and move Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields. Is there any other context further down here?
Yeah, because I guess which wide receivers are we upgrading to? Right? Like if it's tough to know without the context.
I mean, I guess you could trade Warren for like
a
Ladd or something. Maybe
I'd probably keep it. I want to keep Jalen Warren and Ken Walker personally. Those
have to be a pretty good receiver.
Is he only allowed to play 1 running back at a time? If so, then Jonathan Taylor is just automatic.
It could be one at each spot and a bunch of flex spots where you only need 1 running back each week. You could play more if you wanted, like that context too. I suppose, like if you're looking for the best deal you can get, Cody, the teams that desperately need a running back, who absolutely needs Kenneth Walker this week in their lineup because it's dreadful if they don't have him.
Mm-hmm.
like that's the team that's going to give you the best receiver. So like that's what you kind of have to look for. So it's less about which receivers you want to target and more which teams in your league you're trying to target. So if you can look at that and you want to like give us more context by the end of the episode, we can circle back to that later.
Mm-hmm. And then just for the quarterbacks too, once Lamar's healthy, I don't think you don't have to have Justin Fields once Lamar's healthy outside of the bye week. I'm not sure what Baltimore's bye week is off the top of my head. But yeah, once Lamar is healthy and past the bye, I would
it's week 7.
Justin Fields.
It's week 7, so it's pretty soon. So like, yeah, you hold him, and then starting week 8, you try and shop one of them.
Yeah, no doubt. And then from Evan here,
Jets week 9. So yeah, I suppose if you wanted to just ride Fields throughout, you could maybe get better return for Jackson. You're just gonna have to wait till week 10 to do it to cover the bye weeks. But yeah, I feel at one point you want to make that move and trade one of those quarterbacks to optimize the rest of your roster.
Then Evan's got a half PPR question. These options suck. Travis Hunter, I can't say his name, man. That's like a blank for me.
Just call him B-Tune.
And Kendra Miller here. It's Bashal, right? That's what it is?
Bashul.
Bashal. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Kyle, what do you got here? Travis Hunter, Tootin, or Kendra Miller?
I mean, it's funny because Evan's the last part of the question. Is this the week Hunter shows out on Monday Night Football? I know Bucky Brooks, who follows the team quite regularly because he does color commentary during games or radio broadcasts. Certainly follows them a lot through training camp too. He kind of said the same thing on Move the Sticks this week. Like, is Monday night now? They've got that extra day to prepare. Is this the night you really design the offense around Travis Hunter? Man, I just keep falling for it every week, but I'll fall for it again and play Travis Hunter just on the promise of the upside. Just because
that's where I'm at.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Tootin's questionable, right? I guess the good news is that you have Hunter, so if you do decide to play Tootin, you're covered in case you want to go that way. Just how much work's Miller gonna get? Is Devin Neal gonna be active? If so, could that be a 3-way split? Like I'd probably just play Travis Hunter again. Let's ride it one more time and see.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm riding that wave as well. Love it. I love it here. From Jared, Kenneth Walker or Rico Dowdle? Kenneth Walker for me. Still.
Yeah, I'd still go.
I'd still go rank that way too. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and I know it's a split, and Rico's got it all by itself over there.
I actually did put Dowdle one spot ahead of Walker, but certainly it seems Dowdle be safer, but Walker is the higher upside. So
yeah, I
typically tend to lean upside, so. Maybe I'll switch those back. That feels right.
From Cody here, Chris Godwin or Tony Pollard at the flex full point PPR. I don't think we got a. Did they already announce that Tajay Spears was going to play? I know they activated him off.
He had a good practice, is the last I heard. All week.
I guess it's 11:30. We might not have the inactives yet. So I'm also wondering, could Spears being active help Pollard? Just in that. He won't get all the work. He might be more efficient on a per touch basis. So, I don't expect if Spears is going to take over, it's probably going to be gradual. I wouldn't expect the first game to be a huge reduction in volume. So, even with Spears active, I would lean Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I would go Pollard too.
Let's see what the split's going to be like before we panic and think we can't play Pollard.
Okay, but yeah, the injury news.
Let's see Godwin be more efficient than he was last week too. Before we start.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We don't have all the injury news yet, but Brock Bowers will not play today. That's came out. And then Bucky Irving, foot and shoulder, expected to miss at least 2 weeks. There.
Yeah, if they're already calling next week out, like that
it's not good stuff.
That's minimum. It's probably going to be more than 2 weeks. That's my takeaway. I definitely did trade away my only Bucky Irving share this week, Dynasty Week. So let's go get the healthy Jahmyr Gibbs instead, please.
Yes. Halfway PPR with big play, long touchdown bonuses. Pick 2. Godwin would have the Baker stack. Jamison Williams in Cincinnati. I think that's where we're going to lean there from one of our guys.
Big play bonus. It's like he says it right there, right? This is the form you have to play JMO.
Yeah. Michael Carter against Tennessee. And yes, so pick 2 out of Godwin, JMO, Michael Carter. Pretty easy for me. I'm going to go wide receivers.
Okay, so this is 2 different leagues. Okay.
Looks like it. Yep.
Okay. I don't know.
I do J-Mo.
This is where I might play Godwin. Again,
yeah.
I'm.
Yep.
Yeah. J-Mo and Godwin.
That's where I'm at.
Again, he got the targets. You're just hoping that at some point he catches enough of them and he gets the yards efficiency.
Yep, clean sweep there. And then BTJ against Kansas City. Darius Slayton against New Orleans would be a stack with Dart. And then Pollard against Arizona. Carter against Tennessee and Shakir. So pick 2 wide receivers or 1 flex, so 3 here. BTJ, Slayton, Pollard, Carter, Shakir.
BTJ, Pollard, and Shakir. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go that way too. I think Pollard still, you want the volume there for sure. And then of the receivers, the 2 I have the ranked highest are Ryan Thomas and Shakir.
Right on, clean sweep there. Do I start any of these guys over Juwan? Zach Ertz, Brenton Strange, Mason Taylor, Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goddard.
I mean,
Strange.
You can make a case for Ertz and Strange. I mean, Taylor's seeing a ton of targets too, but
you know what? Ertz with McLaurin out. I just think
the
top 2 targets are going to be him and Debo. So I think I'll play Ertz with Jaden Daniels back.
I'm all right with that too.
Strange makes sense too. I've actually got both Ertz and Strange ranked ahead of.
Since we're riding the Hunter train, I'll go Ertz. So Strange won't do as well.
I think I would play either of those 2, Ertz or Strange over Juwan, but not definitely not Taylor and I don't know if Goddard and Schultz get consistent enough targets to contend with what Juwan gets. I mean, he's still questionable, so we're not even fully sure that Jennings is going to play.
It's true. Yep. And then Jamie, we did answer you earlier. I forget what the question was. It was Godwin.
First one.
Right. Yeah.
We
did answer
one, right?
Yep.
Bench Godwin in spite of the stack. I think is what we said, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Play Cortland. That's what it was.
We answered this one from America already. We went Jameson, JMO, and Godwin there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You know what he did? He first put both questions together, and then he split them for us here.
Got it.
This is. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that.
Yes. And then next one we got from Cody. Pick one to start in full PPR between Marvin Harrison Jr., Xavier Worthy, or Jacoby Myers. Ooh, good question here. Kyle, I'll let you take this one away.
I was thinking Marv, but I actually have Worthy ranked the highest. So yeah, Xavier Worthy. Now again, half PPR rankings. It's wide receiver 20 for Worthy, 24 for Marv. I guess Marv's more of a volume guy, so in full PPR you boost him. I don't know if I'd boost him enough. I'd probably go with Xavier.
Ike, X-Men for you?
Yeah.
All right. Half PPR, pick 3. Walker, Woody, Chase Brown, Pittman, Keenan Allen. Think we could cross off Chase Brown for now?
Yes.
These options, right?
Of the 3 running backs, I have the other 2 ranked higher.
Okay. Who's the last?
I don't mind going all 3 running backs, though, to be honest. Like part of me likes to do it. Just play the volume running backs in half PPR, so I don't hate just playing all 3 running backs. But I have Pittman ranked at wide receiver 11, so I think I want enough upside to bench Chase Brown for Pittman.
Yeah, I think I'm Walker, Pittman, Keenan Allen. I think over Woody. I'm still gonna wait. Show me one more week, Woody. You go on Kyle's side or you go on my side? Where you?
I would do Walker, Woody, and Pittman.
Okay, then we got Reese here, Amari, Harvey, or Travion Henderson here. RJ Harvey starting to get a little bit more work here, boys. That's where my slight lean, I think.
I
was actually thinking Henderson. Just
okay.
At some point, he's going to take over for Stevenson. He can't just, but they keep giving it to Stevenson, so I don't know. That's it's all committees, like all 3 of them. I don't love Harvey against the Eagles. I like J.K. Dobbins a lot more because that inside running, seems to be where the Eagles are vulnerable. That they're so good in the linebackers in the second level of the secondary that it's weird because you think of them as this like crazy intense defensive front, but that seems to be the way to beat them. So I don't love it for Harvey this week. I feel like this is more of a J.K. Dobbins week.
Ike, where you lean?
I'd lead Henderson.
Okay. From John here, Marv or Jacoby with no Bowers. Kyle?
Man, I have Marv ahead of Jacoby, but now that faced with no Bowers, is that enough to, because Marv still has to contend with McBride. Tough defense against the Colts. I mean, who do the Cards have? Tennessee.
Yeah.
Man. I think I'm leaning Marv still. I'll keep it that way.
That's my lane as well. Like,
I was going to say Jacoby, but I'll roll with Marv for you guys.
Jacoby's intriguing now, like he said, but
He's going to get targeted.
yeah, but they were not.
But he's not a touchdown guy.
Jacob,
So.
yeah, and Jacoby and Gino weren't on the same page last week in that Bears game. A couple of Gino's picks were balls directed towards Jacoby too. So, what do we got here? I appreciate that, Mike. Big underdog and need upside wide receiver PPR. Current is Io Manor or drop him and stream Tolbert in a good matchup or Malik Washington.
Probably stick with Io Manor.
That's where I was going to say. Yeah. Yeah, I think you have some upside there with him still.
I suppose the Cardinals isn't a great matchup, but is it really like a horrible matchup that we want to avoid?
Mm-mm.
Go Canada.
Yeah. There we got Eric. Would you drop Charbonnet to stash Andre Miller?
Yeah.
I don't think I would, especially if you're a Walker owner. I think you keep Charbonnet and handcuff him, but I don't know there.
Charbonnet is a better stash over Kendry anyway, so
I guess the upside of Kendry is what, that Alvin Kamara gets traded? Is that the outcome you're stashing for? Because that makes it so he's the total lead back, but do we think Kamara actually gets traded? Is he content with just wanting to, like, is he not pushing for a trade and just wants to stay with the Saints? Like, regardless, okay, I might not win, but this is my team. Like, and does the team just want to do that? Because, I mean, if they trade him, they still probably have tons of future cap they have to pay anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They probably don't save money by trading him. So, like, I guess that's the scenario you'd hold it for, but I don't know if that scenario is good.
Sure.
I wouldn't drop Sharp. I'll say.
Agreed there. From Cody again, Xavier Worthy, Cortland Sutton. This is an interesting full point PPR. Kyle, where do you go here?
I think I'm still going Sutton. He's even a couple spots ahead of Worthy in half PPR, and I like in theory Sutton's better in full PPR. Just expect more consistent volume. Whereas Worthy, we're thinking, okay, big yards, some touchdowns, but also getting carries. Like, he wouldn't be boosted ahead of Sutton in full PPR. So it's a tough matchup in terms of defensive corners, but I'll still go with Sutton.
I go Sutton as well.
All right, love that. From Drew, two questions first. Got offered Tetaroa for Woody. And DJ Moore. Do I take it? I think you do. Well, my running backs are Judkins, Hampton, Bucky, who's injured. Receivers, AJ, Ladd at BTJ.
On paper, that looks really good, but this year, not great.
I mean, you're not upgrading a ton with DJ Moore, to be honest, because Rome Odunze has taken over as the wide receiver one, and you're just adding another iffy guy to a iffy wide receiver.
I mean, the appeal is really getting that running back.
It is, yeah.
Having with Bucky Irving out, you feel like you need Woody. I mean, talking about Rashad White and Rico Dowdle, second meaning like second question. Like, are these two different leagues? Two
I think this is a separate question. Yeah.
Okay, so I think. I mean, I don't really know if I have much confidence putting McMillan in over those other guys like Brown, Ladd, and Brian Thomas Jr. So I think I make the trade, or no, I guess I got offered Tet. So I just hold.
Oh, he gets Tet.
I think that's the way I interpret it. I think.
You're right. Yeah, I was reading it wrong then too. Yeah, I think you hold. I'm with Kyle then. Yeah,
because Woody Marks seems to be the difference maker. Like, you might really need him as your third running back now, and I don't really think you're.
Yeah, and
I think it's an upgrade for more.
I think
it's an upgrade, but I don't think it's enough of an upgrade over, like, it's an upgrade over more, but it's not, to me, an upgrade over AJ Brown, Ladd, and Brian Thomas Jr. So you're really just changing depth receiver for depth receiver in my mind. But it's costing you a potential starting running back right now. So no, I wouldn't make this move.
Sure. This is a pretty good question from Eric here. What are your thoughts on QB's pass catcher stacks? Just to clarify, too, a stack and a combo are a little bit different. Like, a stack is more so quarterback, wide receiver, and a tight end. A combo would be, which I'm assuming is the combo, where he's asking about the QB, which is the pass catcher combo here. And I don't what are your guys' thoughts? But I don't try to force it. But like, I also like to try to use it as a tiebreaker as well, like over guys. Kyle, do you have any specific thoughts here on your?
I think, yeah, I think because we've gotten to enough questions, this could turn into a little bit of a longer discussion. I think because I think there are times when stacking makes a lot of sense. There's certain positions where you really want to do it. If you're going with cheap tight ends and you're not really carrying it, or you're streaming off the waivers, for instance, that makes a lot of sense to then, because you're not spending much, to draft or to pick up and roster with whoever your quarterback is. Stack with your tight end pretty easily. If you're going to go with cheap tight ends, may as well go with the one that pairs my quarterback. Now, that doesn't always work. Like, your quarterback's Kyler Murray, that's not a cheap stack. Like, you're having to set that up first with McBride and then stack. It's almost the opposite. You're stacking Murray with McBride instead of the opposite. But I think there are times where it makes a lot of sense. And to me, like, if you're going cheaper at tight end, that's one of the best ways to do it. If your quarterback lines up with one of those value tight ends.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, no doubt. Ike, you got anything to add there or no?
I think sometimes it can help you very much. Like last year when you had the Burrow Chase stack or Burrow Chase Higgins, or it can hurt you like this year when you got Burrow Chase. So
that's it. Yeah, that is. That's
double-edged sword, man. You can hit it, and if you hit it, you got clear path for the playoffs as long as you drafted everyone else around correctly. So,
yeah, for sure. Then Clayton, no, I don't think I'm down 60 from anybody just yet in any of the leagues. I am chasing in quite a few though. After a pretty,
I did go against Puka Nacua, so
Thursday.
Got that going for
yeah, and I'm up pretty big on somebody. I had Kyron Williams who got me a 30 piece in that league, which is nice, even though he seems to all of a sudden have a fumbling problem, which isn't great to see.
Yeah, I'll say the opposite. I'm currently up 76-0 because I started Kyron Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and David Njoku finally came alive this morning. So
yeah,
that's my best friend, my best man at my wedding, Akili, that I'm playing against. So sorry, buddy, but yeah, I'm 1-3. I really needed this win, so I hate having to defeat my friend to make it happen. But yeah, CMC,
no doubt.
And when he said 60 points, that's what I was thinking. It's someone,
sure.
someone the victim of that, because I know I had that combo. That felt real great. So yeah, sorry. Sorry on behalf of those who have CMC and Kyron. I'm so sorry, Clayton. But yeah,
no doubt. And then anyone, if you guys got questions, fire them away in the chat. We'll be happy to answer. But we're gonna pivot to every week. Joe posts a Reddit thread each week, and we got a ton of comments and questions over there. I put it in the private chat if you guys want to follow along with me here. But we got one here from Crazy Otto, PPR, who to start at tight end: Juwan Johnson, Brenton Strange, Mason Taylor, or Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson. Yep. Okay.
Canada. Yeah, I'll know that one for sure automatically.
Juwan Johnson.
I think it's Strange or Johnson. Like you narrow it down to those two. You expect those are the guys that are going to get targets. So, actually, I'm just about to check the inactives, and Juwan Johnson is not listed, so he is playing. So Juwan Johnson active, so you can if you want to fire him up, feel free.
Love it. There we go. Yeah, we might as well just list off the inactives here. Tyrone Tracy inactive, Ronnie Staley inactive, Miles Sanders inactive. So Jadon Blue is going to be active for the Cowboys this week. Man, the Ravens, brutal injuries right now on the defense. Kyle Hamilton's inactive.
Oh,
groin injury.
This is interesting for the Raiders. Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer are both inactive. So I don't even know who the third string tight end is. So like Joe put in the comments earlier, the more we go, like maybe double back on some of those questions. We might go Trey Tucker in some of those spots now.
Yeah,
certainly. Like we were talking Trey Tucker, Troy Franklin, Ironman, or I think Tucker's the number one there. So
yeah, very well could be. Back to some questions here over at Reddit from Johnny Toronto. Shout out Canada again, Kyle. Teteroa McMillan or Rashad White this week?
Rashad White.
Yeah,
Rashad White. All right.
And now this is the week to fire him up. Like if you've held him, waiting for Bucky Irving to be inactive, this is the time. Like this is usually going to be the weeks to smash him.
From N Rogers 23, we got Emeka Egbuka, George Pickens. What a brutal decision here.
Oh my.
I'm pretty easily going to Emeka. He seems like the real deal. Until Evans is back, like I think he's had his best target games in those weeks since Evans has been gone. So it doesn't matter that Godwin's back. I I'm not going to see many scenarios where I'm benching it and make Emeka Egbuka.
Who the Cowboys play again?
The
They
Jets.
play the Jets.
Yeah. I'd probably go Egbuka then. Although
Okay.
Pickens is close.
I actually lean Georgie boy here, but yeah, go with the consensus out of you two there.
Quite crazy to rank
halfway PPR.
Egbuka at wide receiver 5. Is that too
No,
nuts?
I don't think that's crazy.
I guess, but you guys are all saying Pickens is a wide receiver 1 too, and yeah, certainly what he showed last week. Yeah.
Like I got Joe's rankings pulled up still, which surprises me because he's got George Pickens wide receiver 4 this week.
Damn.
Yeah,
I've got him at 7, so he's actually pretty
7,
close to
okay.
Egbuka. So I get when I first saw it, I didn't realize they were that close to me.
sure.
Egbuka, he's like a must start locked in every week now.
I'm with you. Yeah, no doubt. Halfway PPR, Jordan. We already hit the one. Jordan Addison. Hopefully, he started Khalil Shakir over Jordan Addison this morning because I saw early. Has he done anything, Kyle? I haven't been paying attention, but I saw early someone posted on Twitter like the first 15 snaps of the game, Jordan Addison didn't play.
Apparently, he didn't play the first quarter, and then the first snap of the second quarter, he got in there, but he only has 1 catch so far.
So hopefully,
there's still at the end of the third right now, so there's a quarter to go. But yeah, I definitely just jammed Jordan Addison in every lineup this week. And
I have him in some dynasty stuff too. It hasn't been great. Daniel Jones against Vegas or Kyler Murray against Tennessee?
Daniel Jones.
I think it's Daniel Jones. He can still
Daniel Jones,
Kyler, right? Yeah.
Daniel Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is historic. You have to play him against the Raiders, right?
Right. Yeah, I like that. Good point. From One-Eyed Clothes, we got D. Mercado, Malik Washington, Zach Charbonnet, 10-man PPR. Ooh. Is this where we go, D. Mercado?
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking that too. The upside again. I think we might have addressed something like this. Do you take the risk on Washington? Is this with Hill out, or I guess are we not necessarily convinced that he's going to get a huge bump in targets? I guess like for DeMarcado, he's getting a huge bump too. So yeah, I think you're right. DeMarcado probably is the sense here. Someone definitely responded on Reddit and answered that as well. So
okay, right on. Outside sector, Pickwood flex full PPR. Woody Marks is what he's feeling in his gut. But they have Tetaroa, McMillan, and J.K. Dobbins. I could pick out of those 3. He's got Scadaboo and Monty at RB this week already.
I'm okay with what he's got in.
I mentioned it earlier. Really bad passing goal upgrade for the Broncos. If they are going to score touchdowns, it's probably going to be on the ground. So maybe I'm crazy. I have J.K. Dobbins at RB 14 this week. So I would I'd play him over anyone. Really, like I'd bench any one of those guys to get Dobbins in personally.
I'm all right, and my lean was Tetaroa, so I don't think we help outside sector here at all. To be honest with you,
I like Scadaboo and Montgomery. I think I would play Dobbins over Woody Marks. It sounds like outside sector really wants to go with Scadaboo and Montgomery, and so I'm not going to contest that. I actually have both those guys ranked ahead of Woody.
And
Marks. So
I would play Dobbins over Marks too, to be honest with you. And then next one here.
But Dylan, to be fair, you'd also play McMillan over Woody Marks. So
I would, yeah. And we got next one, Woody Marks against the Ravens, Alvin Kamara against the Giants, Jameson Williams against the Bengals, Rico Dowdle against Miami. Good options here. We lean into JMO here, going back to Kyle's article.
Even in half PPR, I think so.
I think that's where
that's the goal line guide. Yeah, I think that's how I'd go about it. But man, half PPR feels weird to just say no to all these running backs. But I really believe in the upside of Jameson. I've got him at wide receiver 17 this week, which I know FantasyPros thought was way too high because every time I submitted my rankings, they still said, "You're the 13 spots above ECR." And okay, good. Then if he smashes, I'll be really high in rankings.
No doubt. Yeah. Yep.
And if he does disappointing, I'm going to be awful.
And from Max, we got Emeka Egbuka, Woody Marks. I think that was easy Egbuka for us, right?
Yeah, I don't see myself saying no to Egbuka in very many questions.
Yeah. 12-man full point PPR. Start Pacheco, RJ Harvey, or Torrey Horton. Yes, I'm down tremendously. It says.
RJ Harvey.
That's going to be Harvey for me as well.
I think that's the level where I might go Harvey. Yeah.
Okay. And then 12-man standard league, currently starting Devonta Smith as wide receiver 3 receiver lineup. Would you start Malik Washington over him? I would not.
Nope. Still only got a question thing.
All right. From Joe here. Juju or Slayton? Okay.
I want
Darius Slayton
with neighbors.
Yeah.
I would do Darius Slayton as well.
Right, clean sweep, easy one
you,
there
Joe.
for you, Joe. Yep, appreciate the question. Yeah, we're starting Devonta Smith over Malik Washington. Still corrected. Yeah. Streaming QB this week, very bad options. 4-point passing touchdown. Trevor Lawrence against the Chiefs. Don't love that. Geno Smith against the Colts. Don't love that either. Bryce Young against the Dolphins. Like the matchup. Not so
Don't
much
like
the player.
Don't like it.
Kyle, yeah, where are you going to go here?
Sorry. Lawrence, Geno, Bryce.
I'm going Geno.
Yeah. What are the goal line guys even said? I'm sure I haven't ranked. They're probably all in the same tiers to where.
Yeah.
I've got Lawrence. Lawrence. They've got a pretty good passing goal line grade, 98.25. I think it's like the 5th highest score this week. So that's why I have Lawrence ranked the highest.
Okay. I'll side with you there because I don't love the other two options. The Colts defense all of a sudden sneaky pretty good. Like Lou Amaroda,
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his last name, was the scapegoat for the Bengals last year. And now he's got this Colts defense pretty fire so far. So like to see that. From Jacko here, PPR need one flex. Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman, Rashad White, or BTJ. Too many options there for just one spot. Too many good options.
Rashad White.
Sutton, Pittman, Rashad White, or BTJ.
They're very solid team, clearly, if those are the guys that are on the bench.
I hate having that many options, though, Kyle. Maybe that's just me. Like, what are your thoughts there? Would you rather have, like, a stacked bench, or would you rather more so, like, use your bench as, like, handcuffs for your players, or would you go a different way there? Like,
I mean,
what are your thoughts on that?
Ideally, I'd like to consolidate, right? Like, can you trade Brian Thomas Jr. and Sutton to get into the, I don't know, maybe, like, can you find a way to, like, buy low on Nico Collins using Brian Thomas Jr.?
Sure. That's a good point.
Or can you even aim higher, right? Like Jefferson and Chase, like with their quarterback situations, are they attainable if you give a Brian Thomas Jr. and Sutton? Can you get one of those? Like that, I think that would be a great way to like use those bench spots, all the pieces that you're not really playing to start either to get a player that will enter your league. Now, if it's a shallow enough league, probably no one wants to do that because they're probably all thinking the same thing. If I make this trade, I'm not going to be able to start both these guys.
Yeah, right. Yep.
You might be stuck. Only like again, if you have Rashad White, this is what he's there for, right? Is when Bucky's out, like
Yeah.
for him. So I'm leaning that way in spite of again. I think I mentioned Pittman's my wide receiver 11 this week. But you get a volume running back who will catch a lot of passes. So in full PPR, he still is useful in that format. I think I'm going Rashad White there.
Yeah, I'm all right with that then. Got two for the flex. Should I use MHJ, Jacoby Myers, Woody Marks, Rashad White?
Rashad White again.
Yeah.
And
both running backs. I'd be fine going White.
yeah, I'd do both running backs. It seems like the best idea.
Would you guys go DeMercado over Chase Brown?
I wouldn't.
No, I would not.
But it's getting close. But I mean, we think there's upside with DeMarcado, but he could also we like Kyle just doesn't throw to him. He's the third down back, but he's in there for pass protection. We don't throw to him, and he barely gets anything. I'll still trust the volume that Chase Brown gets, even though it's so inefficient.
Yeah.
Volume.
Yes, it is. From Cody here, Jawad Johnson, Dalton Kincaid this week.
I've got like 2 or 3, I think 2 leagues with this, and I've got Kincaid ranked higher. Part of it was the injury with Johnson heading into the week, like questionable. And didn't Joe point out that Taysom Hill's active suddenly? So
he did say that.
The fun with Jawan Johnson might be over. Taysom Hill's about to ruin everything for everyone.
Oh, gross, man. Rankers nightmare everywhere, Kyle, huh?
I didn't rank him this week. Like
Good
Prove
idea.
to me that you're actually going to play. And that, he might be active, but like not do anything because he's still recovering. Like
Yeah.
game checks or something. Like I don't know.
But then you won't rank him. He'll play 12 snaps and score 2 touchdowns, man,
No.
or something silly like that.
Well, I guess I'm number 150 in tight ends this week. Once again, Thank Taysom Hill.
Over Smith with the chase. It auto-corrected to capitalize chase.
Over Devontae Smith.
Yeah, if you just want to pop the full question again in the
We can
chat,
go
and
back
we
and
can try to answer it a little better. So it'd be
Just trying to go back. Did we answer this? Yeah. So it's Devontae Smith or DeMarcado. That's the.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm still going.
And so Clayton's saying Clayton wants to go DeMarcado in spite of us wanting Devontae Smith because of how bad the Eagles passing offense
I
is.
feel it. I got it.
We understand the question of why the fact that he's thinking about it. Like who would think about DeMarcado over Devontae Smith in week 5? Like we didn't think we'd be this desperate this early in the season, but how bad the Eagles passing game is, where it's like we're actually thinking about that. Like, oh, I get it. So if you trust something with DeMarcado, trust your gut.
Yeah, I feel that too. Next one here, RJ.
Can I guess give the the Cardinals have a really bad passing goal line rate. It's one of the worst this week. Actually, I think it's the second lowest passing rate. So because that's where you figure DeMarcado would be better is the passing, less the rushing.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much touchdown upside anyway.
Yep, I'm with you there. Another DeMarcado question. Would you go Harvey or DeMarcado?
Harvey.
I think I'd go DeMarcado. It's the same thing as Charbonnet, right? Like, if you want the guy we know what the split is, or the upside chance that DeMarcado might get something better. So I think this is where I finally found one where I'll pick DeMarcado.
Yeah. Next one, Jacoby Myers or BTJ full PPR, man.
BTJ.
So Ryan with it?
Ike is right.
Okay.
Still rolling them out. You draft them first round for a reason.
I know that there's appeal with Bowers being out, but like Myers, I don't think Myers gets a real big boost from Bowers. The more I've thought about this, it really does feel like his targets over the middle are going to be what they are. Like the game plan is designed over Bowers and Myers over the middle anyway. Is it just okay? Bowers isn't there now. We throw more to the outside, and that's why Trey Tucker gets the bigger boost. So wherever you were going to rank Myers with Bowers, I think it's probably where I'm sticking with.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we Galen Tolbert, Darren Waller, Khalil Shakur, or Troy Franklin. They could play 2.
Shakir for sure.
Yes, locked in
And
there.
then rock out Darren Waller, man. No Tyreek Hill.
Is it Tolbert in a good matchup? I think that's where I go. Right? It is the solid.
Funny, I was almost thinking Franklin. So
Oh,
Shakir
no.
for sure. We've solidified that. We've at least helped them with that clarity. It was 2 touchdowns on how many targets for Waller? I don't think it was very much. That's why I'm kind of hesitant with him. But
I got a couple questions here firing in last minute here for Joey. We've got Jameson Williams or David Montgomery at the flex. We've been riding Jameson all day, so that's where
this is one when they're on the same team. You can really look at those goal line grades. Like, what is this team more likely to do? And the Bengals have just been so bad inside the 5 on defense that I feel like if the Lions are smart and they seem to be adaptable, they'll pass a lot. Not necessarily. I mean, part of it is Dan Campbell just wants to show how tough he is, so they'll run in spite of it. But we still do see Goff with those goal line passes at times. So that's JMO.
Try to help Tyler out here. Need 2 of 3 for PPR. Shaw Tucker, Nick Chubb, Amari DiMercato. Man.
Oh, boy.
We're going to lock in Amari
sure.
here, right? Yeah.
I'll go DiMercato, and I want to
Nick Chubb, because at least he's getting some stuff.
The Ravens' run defense just being so bad, too, makes that kind of an appealing matchup. So DiMercato and Chubb. Yeah, I agree.
From Calvo, good to see you. Pop it back in here. RJ Harvey or Shaw Tucker? Here.
RJ.
Is that like okay? No, I was wondering is that Ramondre, Harvey, or Tucker? They just auto correct or something didn't go right with Stevenson. I'd go Harvey as well. We finally found one where I'll go Harvey. There we go.
I like it. Then Clay, any idea on the player value for those two? What you could get in a trade here for Devonta Smith and Chase Brown?
Okay.
It's probably not
Chase
much.
Brown's basically got no value right now.
Yeah, I mean, you could try to package them together for. Would you guys do like Devonta Smith and
Hey, Keith.
Hey, guys.
what's up, Keith? I don't know, Kyle. You got anything here? It's hard for me to say. It's just you're trying to sell both those players at their floor. Unfortunately, is where
The
I'm
best
at.
thing is almost waiting for like a spike week when they have like their best performance of the season. Okay, sell them right off.
Yeah, you
bat.
gotta wait.
Most people see that coming though. They like most people don't want to buy off a best week of the season. So
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I
And
think you
then-
said it right. Can you combine them? You probably You probably what need to do is you need to get someone who's also been disappointed. So can you combine them to get Brian Thomas Jr. or Aladdin
Sure.
McConkey, right? These people that like, man, these players are disappointing too. So can I sell off to get two potential pieces? Like that might be the appealing way to do it. The players that are smashing, you're not going to get them for Devontae or both.
All right, then let's get this last question in. We'll let Keith answer this one, and then we'll hand it over the reins for him to talk DFS. We got Darren Waller, Dallas Goedert, or Brenton Strange. PPR need one. Keith, where are you going?
Ooh. I think I'm going to go Goddard. I just think that Philly, the weakness of the Denver defense is in the middle of the field. It's their linebackers. They're very good at corner. They've been very good thus far overall versus the run, but the middle of the field, they've given up a lot of receptions to running backs and tight ends. And I think Goddard is, obviously right now one of Hurts' favorite targets. So I would lean Goddard. I'm okay, if you want to play Waller or Strange, like all three of those guys are worthy to start. I just think with the game script and stuff, Goddard's probably the guy I like the most.
Good with that. I go Goddard as well. Kyle, you're good.
I'll roll Goddard.
See, I've got Strange just because the Jaguars really elevated passing goal line grade, especially when it comes to tight ends, like where are those touchdowns going to be? Now, Joe mentioned it earlier, like Strange isn't getting the touchdowns, but like he's getting enough targets that eventually it'll happen. I mean, unless he's Trey McBride and he just won't. But I've got it ranked with Strange. But what Keith said about Goddard makes sense, like with the linebackers, like Canadian CFL or I guess I think his mom is Canadian, so he counted as a Canadian player. But CFL legend Alex Singleton, like he was, he's a middle linebacker in the CFL, and I think he's had to play more coverage since he's been in the NFL, but that's not quite the strength of his game. He's just a downfield tackling machine.
Yeah.
I think he knows enough of that. Like Singleton.
Then,
So in coverage is going to be his weakness. So that is a good point that Goddard might be able to get behind, especially since he's coming off a torn ACL. If that's going to be one of your coverage linebackers, it's going to be tougher to keep up with guys.
All right, and then Cody's question here: Keon Coleman or pick up? Should he drop Keon Coleman and pick up Biomanor? I would. I'm all right putting Keon Coleman out on the waiver wire personally.
You said you would or would?
Sure. Go.
I would.
Yeah, I tried to say it after the big week one performance. We know what Buffalo is going to do. Like they're going to run the ball in games that they lead, and I just think that's going to be a majority. You look at their schedule; they've actually kind of got through the toughest stretch of their schedule, and I think that Tennessee had a brutal start to the season, and Iowa Manor's been great versus like really good defenses. So I actually think Tennessee is going to be a little bit better in terms of just like being able to move the ball on offense, as we move forward. And the great part is they're really bad. So that means they're down a lot in throwing. So, number one target and an offense is down. Like that's to me better than like the number 2-ish 3 target and an offense that loves to run the ball.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. All right, cool. That wraps up the start sit portion. So Kyle, before we get out of here, go ahead, plug your stuff.
Yeah, so the goal line guide, I've referenced it enough here. You can check out every team's what I call goal line grade. So what I do is I look at all the data from inside the 5. This article is available on the Fancy Six Pack website for reference sake. So every team has a grade for their rushing attack and their passing attack. It's based off of their own efficiency inside the 5. How often are they scoring touchdowns when they're 5 yards from the end zone? But it's also cross-referenced the matchup, and I track the info to also have the defensive depth. What defenses are allowing inside their 5-yard line? How efficient are they at stopping the runs, preventing touchdowns? rushing. So everything's split with both. So you get each team's rushing grade, passing grade, and then the difference between the two. I think that's really important. A team could have a really elevated grade, but if rushing, for instance, but their passing grade is also elevated, they're not necessarily more likely to score. So having all three of those data points, I think, is useful. So you get the chart, a couple of paragraphs about certain players as well. But I definitely know from a fantasy standpoint, it can be useful. I use it for my start sit decisions. DFS could be useful. You just like NFL football, this could also be useful as NFL fans because touchdowns are important for real NFL wins and fantasy. It's the one thing we can agree on. We love touchdowns. And
Yep.
I love doing the start sit show with you guys. So
No
thanks
doubt.
again,
No,
Dylan.
we
Thanks,
love-
Ike, and good to see you.
Yep, love having you, man, and I'm looking forward to checking out that article this week. Ike,
Also,
what do you got?
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone because I won't be on the show next week. For Canadian
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Right on. Nice. Ike?
Every Monday, my article for the injuries come out. Check it out.
All right, love it. All right, Keith, we'll hand it off to you, my friend, and everyone, good luck with your lineups this weekend. And Kyle, happy Canadian Thanksgiving next week, man.
Thank you.
That makes sense now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was going, wait a minute, am I missing something? He's going to be missing
Yeah, I'm
one
like,
week
wait,
and it's
what?
Turkey Day? So, yeah.
Did I miss
Okay.
Halloween? What happened?
Man, I know the season moves by fast, but that's a little ridiculous.
Right. Let's see you
That's
next
a
week.
success, everyone. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
See you guys. All right, so the week 5 DraftKings cash game slate, QB position. I know if you listen to me week 2, you're going, Keith, really? You're going to go all in on Justin Fields again and jinx him? I promise you, I'm not. I mean, I could be, but he's too good, man. He had that horrible game in Buffalo where he actually exited early in the second half, or I would argue, I think he would have salvaged his fantasy performance with them being down so much. He's only 5,600 on DK, and despite that, he's still 7th among QBs in points per game. More importantly, he's first in fantasy points per drop back. He is averaging almost an entire point every time he drops back. And if you look at it, only Hurts and Herbert average more points per game on the main slate. They're considerably more expensive. And this is a Dallas defense that allows the most points in fantasy and on DK to opposing QBs. And then, oh, by the way, if that's not enough for you, they score a bunch of points. The Jets defense has been really bad. And the only elite quarterback that they've faced thus far this season that can run, Jalen Hurts, had 60 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So I'm going Fields. I literally, I'll send you the screenshot. If you don't believe me, I've got 8 lineups going Fields as a QB in every one of them. I'm doing it. The running backs this week, I think A-Chain at 7,300 is very, very intriguing. Now, it's risky because I think there's more value than ever this week, or at least in a long time that I can remember, with a lot of cheap guys that make a lot of sense. But he's got an absurd target share anyway, 21%. And now Tyreek Hill is out for the season. We also have the added bonus that Carolina is actually a good passing defense, but they have struggled with running backs. So far this season, 19 receptions to opposing backs through 4 games. And then they're also allowing 130 yards per game on the ground. So, I think that Achane is a very safe play with potential to have a monster game. My favorite play this week is Cam Scatterbo at running back. Just monster volume now. I mean, consecutive games with basically 14 points or more, but he was only on the field like 50 to 60% weeks 2 and 3. And then last week, everything went way up. 25 touches, 74% of the snaps. And this is a Saints D that just over the last 3 weeks, 292 yards on the ground and 4 rushing touchdowns. So I think that Scatterbo is a very safe play. His price should be higher. I do want to mention the Saints players. I ultimately could not get there for cash because Kamara is just not seeing, his volume is still good, but the snap percentage is getting closer. But both Kamara and Kendra Miller should be considered. The Giants are averaging 6.1 yards per rush attempt. It is the most through a month since 1979. Unbelievable stuff. So you should consider them. Again, volume is king, especially in cash. A little concern, does Kamara, get 80%? Does he get 60%? So those are really more GPP plays. The two cheap plays that I like this week in cash, the first one is, like right there with Scatterboo. Rico Dottle, 4,300. He's going to get a huge, huge workload. And this Dolphins D, they're not as bad as the Giants, but they're pretty dang close. They give up over 5 yards per rush attempt. They're giving up 158 yards per game on the ground. That's third most in the NFL. And they've already allowed 5 rushing touchdowns. And Dottle is also a guy that catches passes, so it's going to give him opportunities for that as well. And then Michael Carter at 4K. Joe Matz thinks Rachaad White's the guy, and he made a lot of great points at 4,700. We know that White is going to get volume. If you look since Bucky Irvin took over the backfield last year, he only had 3 games where he played 50% or more of the snaps. He averaged like 16 points per game in those. And that was despite playing like just basically 50% in 2 of those 3. The only game that he saw really big snaps, which was again when Bucky Irvin was out, I believe it was like week 14 versus the Raiders. 70% of the snaps for White, he scored 24 points. So he's a good play too. I do think Carter is going to be the early down back. He thinks he is, at least he said that publicly in this game versus Tennessee. And Tennessee is the worst offense in the NFL and the worst team in the NFL. And this Titans D over the last 3 games, just 2 running backs, 328 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. And oh, by the way, also 95 yards receiving on 11 receptions and yet another touchdown. So I think Carter at 4K, I think he's better than Rachaad White at 4,700. Joe is really big on Rachaad White. So I do have Rachaad White in lineups. I did want to mention him. Wide receiver, I'm not going to lie. I have a pretty small pool this week for wide receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's not a lock for me because I just worry the Lions are going to get up so big on Cincy that, it turns into a David Montgomery, Jamar Gibbs, just pounding the rock day. But I mean, at this point, St. Brown is on the ultimate heater. He's caught at least 7 passes each of his last 3 games, scoring 6 touchdowns in that span. Get out of here, man. It's ridiculous. And the Bengals have allowed number 1 wide receivers to catch at least 4 passes every game this season, 5+ and 3 or 4. But the real value for me is down in like that mid 6K to 5K range. Deebo Samuel's the first one. He's 6,300. I expect Washington's defense to continue to struggle. And when they're down, that is very good for Deebo. And we know Daniels is back. No Terry McLaurin. I just think he's going to get the volume. But the 2 receivers I love the most this week, and they're in basically every lineup. Garrett Wilson is the first one. Makes sense, right, with playing Fields. He's 6,100. In the 2 games that Fields started and did not exit early, remember week 2 he did, 17 targets, 13 receptions, 177 yards, 2 scores, averaging right at like 21 points per game in those. Dallas is arguably the worst defense in the NFL. But again, the added bonus, they score a bunch of points. And then Quentin Johnston, man, 5,700. I want to fade him because part of me still doesn't believe he has had this remarkable turnaround. But, I mean, I kind of don't have a leg to stand here. Last 4 weeks of the season last year, Quentin Johnston, top 5 in receiving yards. First 4 games this season, Quentin Johnston, top 5 in receiving yards. And then the one concern with this Chargers offense first few weeks was him, Keenan Allen, Ladd, we're all getting kind of the same targets. That's changed the last 2 weeks. Johnson's seen 23 targets over the last 2 games, significantly more than either Ladd or Keenan Allen. So I think that those are, good plays. And then I do want to mention Jalen Tolbert, who's 3,600. In the 2 games since the CeeDee Lamb injury, he's playing basically 85% of the snaps, running routes 80% of the time. But the big thing, he's seen at least 6 targets. And he's the clear number 3, guy in this passing game. They throw it 44 times per game. So 3,600, I think he's definitely worth considering in cash game lineups. The tight end, I'm going to give you Mason Taylor as well because I think he's a great value. He's 2,800. Dallas runs zone at the highest rate in the NFL. And Mason Taylor has 0 receptions versus zone this season. He has 12, or excuse me, versus man this season. He has 12 receptions versus zone. So you have a defense that plays zone all the time, and Mason Taylor, who has 12 receptions on the season, has all of them versus zone. That's a good sign. Not to mention the fact that week 3 with Tyrod Taylor, he had his best game. That made sense, right? Because Tyrod Taylor were out much more than, Justin Fields, much more accurate. But then Coach Glenn came out and said, we have to continue to get this guy involved in our passing game. And even with Fields starting, another 7 targets, caught 5 passes. And again, he saw 3 targets the first 2 weeks. He's seen 12 over the last 2. But the lock this week, and again, it's not even close at tight end, Jake Ferguson. I mean, I think Jake Ferguson at 4,800 is the best value in this slate, and it's not even close for cash. He currently ranks first or second among tight ends in fantasy points per game, expected fantasy points per game, targets, and target share. He's facing a Jets D that's allowed 4+ receptions to opposing tight ends 3 of their last 4 games. He's seen 33 freaking targets the last 3 weeks. That's more than most of the wide receivers on the slate. And he's 4,800. And again, Dallas throws it all the time, 44 times per game. They're a terrible defense that gives up a ton of points. And as much as I want to believe this Jets team is going to return to the defense we saw 2 years ago under Aaron Glenn, the evidence is now starting to show that last year was not a fluke, because they were really bad on defense last year. They're really bad on defense this year. For the defense, it is literally all about the Texans. I mean, I don't understand why the price is way. Me and Joe Matt spent 10 minutes on our show for Fantasy Six Pack covering the cash game slate, trying to figure out why this price was. Because even if Lamar was definitely playing healthy, I don't think they should be like the 3rd or 4th cheapest defense on this slate. This is a Texans D that is allowing 12.8 points per game, which is just astonishing. And it looks like Cooper Rush is going to play. And with how bad the Ravens are decimated with injuries, I don't know if they're going to be able to just run Derrick Henry, right? Like, they're going to probably be forced to throw and might have to get into that script early. If that's the case, I like Cooper Rush, but man, against that defense, I think there's such an incredible chance you're going to see some turnovers. They get sacks consistently. And I can't play any other. I can't even recommend even one of the expensive defenses that I like more than this Texans. The only thing that might change that again is if Lamar starts. But even if Lamar starts, we know he's not going to be running a lot because he's banged up. And Lamar has improved leaps and bounds throwing the ball. There's no question about that. But that's not a good scenario for him. Not against this defense. And there's no way I'd let him play. I know that they're going to be, staring down the barrel of 1-4, but they're in a division where they can make that work. Losing, say, Lamar for the season, if they put him in there and he gets hurt even worse, it's over. So that's pretty much the cash game plays. Real quick, Mr. Magic asked a question. I wanted to get to it. He has Seattle or Philly's D. I actually like both of these defenses this week, but I'm going to go with Philly. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a big believer in Bo Nix. I was proven wrong last year. Okay. He was really good. And I will take the L on that. But we've seen this with plenty of, quarterbacks, including CJ Stroud, that once NFL, defenses and guys that actually create game plans see a significant sample size for these quarterbacks, they're able to adjust, right? And they're going to take away whatever they were doing and having so much success against, and they're going to go, we're going to force you to do something else. That appears that's what's happening with Bo Nix, who I thought was very limited coming out of college, and he's been struggling. Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive minds in football. And I think Philly's going to roll today. And I could be wrong, but I just think that unless J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, run wild, I think Bo Nix is going to continue to turn the ball over, which he has been this year. And I think there's a good chance Philly has a big game. But I do like Seattle as well. I want to make that clear. Bucky's out, right? But I trust Baker Mayfield more than I do Bo Nix. So that's why I would ultimately go with that. And Seattle actually is a little banged up as well on the defensive side of the ball. But please be sure to check out. I tweeted it out if you follow me at Keith Flemming. I have all kinds of DFS content I put out each week for Fantasy Six Pack. I do a main slate preview where I list every game from the 1 and 4 PMs. I include point totals, the spread, defensive rankings per matchup, and then I give basically some stats and tidbits for each game. I do my DFS cash game cheat sheet, which is also available on Fantasy Six Pack. And then me and Joe Matz, we're entering, this is our 6th year of doing a DFS show together, and it's a cash game for DraftKings show. I think you enjoy it. Like, me and Joe are both huge nerds that love to talk data and stats. And on top of that, when you've been doing something with somebody with 6 weeks worth of, fantasy, doing a show together, obviously we're very comfortable with each other. We have a good time. You should check that out. That's on Friday nights. Clayton, I know I just, don't want to talk out of both sides of my mouth, but I would still start Bo Nix over Spencer Rattler. The Giants are the worst run defense in the NFL. They're giving up 6.1 yards per carry. It's the most through a month since 1979, which is just that's shocking. Like, you think about how long ago 1979 was. Kids are like, when? And so I think even in a really good New Orleans offensive day, it's going to be big days for both Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller. And, obviously Rattler, if they're moving the ball consistently, could throw a couple of touchdowns. But I do like Bo Nix more, especially when Philly has given up rushing yards to QB so far this season. Think about what Patrick Mahomes, there's been guys that have ran the ball from the QB position. So I think Nix not only has a higher ceiling, he has a higher floor as well. So I don't expect it to be good for Denver, but I do think Nix is much safer than Rattler. I hope that helps. But again, there's so much great work at Fantasy Six Pack. You should definitely check it out. It's fantasysixpack.net. Be sure to follow us on all the social media channels. And as I always tell people, don't be afraid to hit me up if you have any DFS questions, or you just want to talk fantasy or about, dogs, stuff that I love in general. But I hope your week 5 lineup slap. If you're somebody who is doing maybe some player prop parlays, I just want to again say the Giants allow 6 yards per carry. Cam Scatterboo is going to get a huge workload. I know that I put together a couple player props where it was like Cam Scatterboo over 80 rushing yards, which is almost 2.5 plus 250 odds. Kendre Miller over 30 rushing yards, which is plus 198. And Alvin Kamara over 60, I think it was either 60 or 70 yards, was plus 225. You throw those together, man, it's like a 17-1 player prop parlay, and I just think there's going to be a ton of running in that game. So hopefully, that hits for me and for you if you end up playing it. But we will see you guys soon. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.